Hello everyone. Welcome to lecture 4 of Indian economy for prelims. Today we are going to study about a little bit of history of economic planning in India. So in the previous lectures we've talked about basics of economics, what is economic growth, what is economic development. So after studying all of these concepts, now we need to understand who carry out the development process, who carry out the growth process, or how are policies framed so that India can grow economically and can also achieve economic development. So a little bit of history also we are going to do today, along with some more concepts. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into the lecture. So first thing first, we will see what exactly is economic planning, what is the definition of economic planning. So basically 3-4 key terms that we have with us. First is, it is a path of actions. It is related to policies wherein we are looking for optimum utilization of existing resources so that we can fulfill some defined economic objectives. So 3-4 terms which are very important to understand here. What is economic planning? So basically we have some economic objects in our head. First thing, we want to increase the production, we want to have more and more economic development, we want gender parity, we want better health condition, we want better education, all of these things. So we have some well-defined economic objective. Okay. So now in order to achieve these objectives, we want to have some path, we want some direction. In which direction should we move? What actions should we take? So what action should be taken in order to achieve the economic objective so that there is no wastage of resources? We use the existing resources optimally. This is what is called economic planning. So if you go by the definition, it refers to the path of actions in terms of policy measures. So these actions will be represented in terms of what policies should be taken, and in terms of policy measure, for what? For consciously and judiciously carrying out the process for optimum utilization of existing resources. Because resources are limited, because we have limited labor, we have limited capital, we want to apply that capital and labor in such a way so that we are able to optimize the production in order to fulfill some well-defined economic objective. So you want your economic objectives to be fulfilled. So in which direction should the country move? That is called economic planning. So now a little bit of history of what direction did Indian economic planning has taken. So a little bit about that. So it first started way before India got independence in 1934, when M. Vishwavarya, in his book Planned Economy of India, he advocates the necessity of planning in the country much before independence. So the feel for planning, economic planning, was felt, and in 1934 in the book Planned Economy of India, he started talking about the need of economic planning in India. And later on in 1944 Bombay Plan came out, which was published in January 1944, which was prepared by 8 major industrialists, leading industrialists of Bombay. So they came up with a plan in order to how to move forward in the industry, how to grow economically. In the same year, a Gandhian plan was also put forward by S.N. Agarwal. Same year again, multiple things happened in 1944. So Planning Development Council was set up under the chairmanship of A. Dalal. And the next year, 1945, People's Plan was drafted by M.N. Roy. So all of these plans had some aspects of economic planning into them. We can go into details of them, but from a history perspective, you just need to know what all happened in what years. Okay, so just 1 year before the independence of India, 1946, the interim government set up the planning advisory body. So India was, you know, at the verge of getting independence. Britishers were going away. The economic condition of India was not very good. So there was a huge demand and need for economic planning. There was a need for, you know, policies that could uplift people out of poverty, out of even, you know, so that they could access basic needs. So in 1947, the Economic Program Committee was set up under the chairmanship of the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And later on, 3 years after that, in 1950, the Planning Commission was set up. So you must have heard a lot about Planning Commission. So this was the agency which was, you know, has been the front runner in implementing 5 years plan. So we've had 12 5-year plans till now. So it's only going to be 12 because Planning Commission has been made redundant and it has been replaced by Niti Aayog. So in 1950, Planning Commission was set up, and in terms of the timeline, quite recently in 2015, there Niti Aayog came into being and it replaced Planning Commission for the purposes of economic planning in India. So this was a brief overview regarding what our trajectory has been, which institution came, which plan came, and how the different institution came into picture, which were quite relevant for planning. So after that, now let's move on and talk about what different strategies have been regarding planning. So basically there are different ideas that you know, that propagate, and some 5-year plans you know, use some strategy, different 5-year plans use different strategy. So based on whatever is the economic condition in the country, different ideas you know, take shape. So there are a few strategies that we would discuss here. The first is Harrod-Domar strategy, second is Nehru-Mahalanobis strategy, the Gandhian strategy, and the LPG strategy that later on came you know, during 1990s when we were facing a balance of payment crisis. So different times required a different thought process so that economy can tackle all the challenges that it is facing. So the first strategy that we have is Harrod-Domar strategy. So Harrod and Domar were two famous economists of their time, and it's the strategy that they so basically this strategy takes the idea that they propagated, and जो भी हमारा first 5-year plan था, it took ideas from this strategy. Okay, so the first 5-year plan, which was 1951 to 56, it was based on the strategy. And what was the strategy? The strategy emphasized the role of capital accumulation, कि आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा capital accumulate करो, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा machinery develop करो, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा infrastructure develop करो. You develop machinery, infrastructure, and you invest in developing that. Why? Because the benefits are going to be twofold. If you do capital accumulation, इसके दो benefits होने वाले. The first one is because capital goods are a part of the final goods and services, they are going to, you know, increase the national income. One, that is obvious. The second thing, the moment you have capital goods, it increases the productive capacity of your economy. You can produce more and more goods. अगर आपकी productive capacity increase हो रही है, तो आप और भी ज़्यादा plethora of products जो है produce कर सकते हो. So it increases your production capacity as well. So capital accumulation would result in national income increase, and it will also result in increase in productive capacity. Okay, so this was the core idea of this strategy. And according to the model by Harrod-Domar, so there is a model, Harrod-Domar model, for those of you who have done economics in their bachelors must know and might have read about it. So according to this model, economic growth rate is dependent on the level of saving and the capital output ratio. So we discussed about the capital output ratio in the previous lecture while doing a question. So आपकी इकोनॉमी किस रेट से ग्रो करेगी वो डिपेंड करता है कि आप कितनी सेविंग्स कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमी में. अगर ज़्यादा सेविंग्स कर रहे हैं तो आपके पास ज़्यादा पैसा है टू इन्वेस्ट, टू फॉर्म कैपिटल, एंड इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन द कैपिटल आउटपुट रेशियो. सो कितनी कैपिटल लगाने के बाद कितना जो आउटपुट है वो आप प्रोड्यूस कर पाते हो. वाई इज़ आउटपुट एंड के इज़ कैपिटल. So how much capital is required to produce 1 unit of output? So अगर ये कम है that means थोड़ी सी कैपिटल का यूज़ करके आप बहुत आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो and that is good for the economy. Okay, so this was the Harrod-Domar strategy. Now coming back to the another strategy that was quite relevant during just after independence. So this strategy formed the basis for second 5-year plan. Second 5-year plan. Okay, so the second 5-year plan was from 1956 to 61. So that plan had the ideas from this strategy. So this strategy again talked about a few things which were so let's have a 2-sector model. What are the 2 sectors? एक तो कंज्यूमर गुड सेक्टर एंड वन इज कैपिटल गुड सेक्टर. सो व्हाट वाज द स्ट्रैटेजी? द स्ट्रैटेजी वाज फोकस्ड ऑन इन्वेस्टिंग इन हैवी इंडस्ट्री. सो आप हैवी इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस करो, ज़्यादा कैपिटल हैवी इंडस्ट्री में फॉर्म करो सो दैट you could achieve industrialization for rapid economic development. So why was this relevant? At the time of independence, majority of people used to work in the agriculture sector. Majority लोग agriculture sector में काम करते थे and it was a low productive sector at that time. So ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग वहीं पे काम कर रहे हैं. So you need industrialization ताकि इंडस्ट्री सेटअप हो सके, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर बढ़ सके, ताकि लोगों को एग्रीकल्चर से इंडस्ट्री में शिफ्ट किया जा सके और इकोनॉमी ग्रो कर सके, एम्प्लॉयमेंट ग्रो कर सके, जिससे क्या होगा, लोगों का लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड, उनके बेसिक इनकम जो है वो भी ग्रो करेगा. सो दिस वाज द स्ट्रैटेजी टू फोकस ऑन हैवी इंडस्ट्री सो दैट द इंडियन इकोनॉमी कुड मूव फ्रॉम एग्रीकल्चर टू इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, which is basically the important feature for an economy to grow. Okay, so another objective of this strategy was to become self-reliant and capital constraint. So you wanted to become self-reliant. You didn't want to be dependent on foreign countries for your needs. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप अपने फूड ग्रेन्स भी फॉरेन कंट्रीज से मंगा रहे हैं, या फिर आप मशीनरी या कैपिटल को लेके कंस्ट्रेंट है कि आपके इकोनॉमी के अंदर ज़्यादा इनोवेशन नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, जिससे कि आप अपने इंडस्ट्रीज़ को आगे खड़ा कर सको. सो योर गोल वॉज टू बिकम सेल्फ रिलायंट एंड हैव कैपिटल ऑफ योर ओन so that you could grow. Okay, and this strategy, as I said, this was adopted during the second 5-year plan. Okay, now moving on to another strategy or another idea that was quite popular, which was the Gandhian strategy. So this particular strategy was prevalent quite even before independence. So this was given by Acharya Shriman Narayan Agarwal in his Gandhian plan in 1944. So in the history of planning slide, we saw that Gandhian plan was given in 1944. So it was given by Acharya Shriman Narayan Agarwal, and what was the objective? So it was to raise the material as well as cultural level of masses to provide them with basic standard of living. So, before independence, widespread poverty was there. People didn't have income or money to even lead a basic life that they wanted. So, the goal was कि उनकी basic livelihood को improve किया जा सके, उनको थोड़ी material wealth, थोड़ी material income दी जाए ताकि वो अपना living standard improve कर सकें. And it laid emphasis on scientific development of agriculture and rapid growth of cottage and village industries. So before independence, even after independence, majority of people were employed in agriculture. So the need was felt कि agriculture को थोड़ा modernize किया जाए, थोड़ी productivity agriculture में increase की जाए, ताकि प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज होगी तो आउटपुट इंक्रीज होगा, इनकम इंक्रीज होगी तो वो बेनिफिट्स जो है फार्मर्स को भी मिलेगा. ओके, एंड सो द फोकस वाज आल्सो ऑन जो भी स्मॉल छोटे छोटे इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं, कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री, टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, जो छोटे छोटे इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं विद इन विलेज, उनको ग्रो किया जाए ताकि अगेन लोगों के पास मटीरियल वेल्थ आए और उनका लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड इम्प्रूव हो. ओके, सो दिस वाज अनदर वन. And later on, now if we move forward, so 1944, 1951, so this was first 5-year plan. Okay, so yeah, so this was first 5-year plan, and then 1956 second 5-year plan. Okay, and this was the Gandhian plan, and then now we are talking about 1990s, the LPG strategy. So by this time our industries had developed to certain extent, थोड़ा थोड़ा development हो गया था. We also started importing oil and other things. We were exporting a few things also. So this strategy was taken because it basically became the need of the hour. We were facing a BOP crisis. We did not have enough foreign exchange reserve कि हम लोग जो भी हमारे ऑयल को है इम्पोर्ट कर सकें. सो हमारा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व इतना कम हो गया था दैट वी ओनली हैड फॉरेन रिजर्व which could sustain 16 more days of oil imports. So it was a crisis situation. At that point of time, the strategy of liberalization, privatization and globalization. So liberalization, privatization. So from after independence to before 1990s, there were a lot of constraints that were put on the private sector. So it was felt that now it's time that we should remove all of those constraints. So liberalize and ease the processes, remove the red tapeism, privatize things that you should, and then start trading with the outside world. So this LPG strategy, liberalization, privatization and globalization, was implemented by the then finance minister Dr. Manmohan Singh under the leadership of Narasimha Rao government during 1990s. So what did it say? You should liberalize the operating conditions within the country. You should start privatizing. बहुत सारी चीज़ों को nationalize किया जा रहा था. Almost all the things were were under the government control. Public थे majority चीज़ें. And you should also start trading with the outside world. So it allowed foreign direct investment, that foreign companies can come and acquire Indian firms, or they could set up their industries as well in specific sectors only. Okay. And policy of export promotion was also implemented, and this particular strategy resulted in change in the nature of planning. पहले बहुत ही सेंट्रलाइज्ड प्लानिंग होती थी कि ये हमारे गोल्स हैं. अब बहुत ही सेंट्रल लेवल पे प्लानिंग की जाती थी कि ये सब गोल अचीव करने के लिए हमें 1, 2, 3 क्या क्या स्टेप्स फॉलो करने पड़ेंगे. सो द नेचर चेंज फ्रॉम सेंट्रलाइज्ड टू इंडिकेटेड प्लानिंग, मीनिंग planning was to play a facilitating role. सो यू प्लान समथिंग, इट विल फैसिलिटेट द ग्रोथ. मतलब वो बहुत ही it doesn't become a centralized thing. So you have some ideas, you just mentioned that this is the direction that we want to move, okay, in the indicative one. So the nature of planning changed from the centralized control to indicative planning, okay. So now we will talk about what are the different types of economic planning. So different countries will have different kinds of government. Some will have a socialist government, some, what if there is a democracy, what if some people are of socialist ideas. So different types of political system that countries have, what kind of planning that they follow. Alright, so now we are going to talk about what are different types of economic planning. अलग अलग तरीके के political institution में किस किस तरीके की planning होती है. So the first one that we are going to talk about is imperative planning. Imperative planning, इसके और कई सारे नाम हैं, जैसे कि totalitarian directive authority planning या planning by direction or command. So usually it is practiced in socialist economy, जहाँ पे all the control is with the government and it takes responsibility of the well-being of citizens. There in those kinds of economy we take imperative planning, जहाँ पे कुछ set of rules defined होते हैं and the directions are given to follow these rules, okay. So centralized, बहुत ही central planning होती है. So majorly जो socialist countries हैं, जहाँ पे कोई भी all the major control is with the government, वहाँ पे you can see imperative planning happening, okay. The other kind of planning which is somewhat similar to imperative planning is centralized planning. So what happens in centralized planning? जो भी economic decisions हैं, they are taken by central authority or the government formulates economic plans, and जो भी economic plans the government centrally decides, that tells us कि what should be the objectives, what should be the targets, and what should be the priorities. So that is centralized planning. During the beginning of starting from the independent India till 1990s, India was also following centralized planning. So we had 5-year plans जहाँ पे हमारे priorities और objectives define किए जाते थे, and the all the machinery was supposed to put their effort to make those plans into reality, okay. And then the other kind of planning is short-term planning. So it might happen because of some reasons, let's say during if you look back around 70s, there were a few time जहाँ पे कोई political turmoil है, जहाँ पे emergency है, उस केस में किस तरीके से planning आगे बढ़े. So उस केस में you can have examples of short-term planning. So it is also known as controlling plan, and it's usually for a period of 1 year, जिसको आप annual plan भी बोल सकते हो. So particularly in case of India, it was seen during politically unstable or unstable times. Short-term planning. Usually India follows a 5-year plan. It used to follow. Now it has been replaced by Niti Aayog, and they also have some 3-year, 5-year, and let's say 10-year target. इस तरीके से planning हो रही है now. So short-term plans usually if they are for 1 year, they are called annual plan. ये इस तरीके के plan apart from politically unstable situations, where else can you see those plans? Suppose suddenly आपको कोई ऐसा target है जो achieve करना है, suppose कोई एक particular sector में you see things going bad and quickly you have to react on it. 5-year plan तो आपका पहले बन गया, अब suddenly आपको उस चीज़ को improve करना है. So in order to do that, you can also implement short-term planning. So the objective of this are, suddenly if you want to raise revenue, you want to meet some economic target, or you want to bring price stability, or you want to remove balance of payment deficit. So if you see things going bad in a particular sector, you might call for a short-term plan, okay. So annual plan you can implement. Apart from that, we can also have a rolling plan. So what is rolling plan? Rolling plan means आप जैसे आपने इस साल कोई एक टारगेट दिया, फिर अगले साल के लिए एक और टारगेट दिया, एक और टारगेट दिया. You are rolling your plans. Okay. So it is a concept which was given by Gunnar Myrdal. It refers to rolling of a plan at intervals of usually 1 year, so that it continues to be a plan for certain number of years. So आज आपने कोई एक प्लान दिया, फिर उसको आगे और उसको और स्ट्रेच किया, फिर और उसमें नई चीज़ें ऐड की. सो व्हेन यू कीप रोलिंग योर प्लान सो दैट द प्लानिंग हैपन्स फॉर लॉट्स ऑफ ईयर्स, दैट वुड बी कॉल्ड अ रोलिंग प्लान. ओके. So during the politically unstable time that I'm talking about, we had rolling plans. So 3 annual plans were there. So they were termed as rolling plans. So from 1966 to 69. So we are going to talk about that in the 5-year plans, but this was just to tell you that what is rolling plan. So because of some reason, suppose you are not able to follow your 5-year plan, situation वैसी नहीं है, तो आपने एक साल टारगेट दिया, फिर दूसरी साल उसको रोल ओवर किया, इस तरीके से you have rolling plan. The other kind of economic planning could be planning inducement. So आप planning को induce कर रहे हो. Induce मतलब you are generating that. How are you doing that? So it is also called indicator for market incentives planning. So you are providing incentives to the market so that it implements whatever your economic plans are. And in such a planning, you regulate the private sector to achieve the targets that you have set. Okay. So आप policies इस तरीके से change करते हो that the private sector takes care of whatever targets that you have. Okay. So apart from that, we've also talked about indicative planning, wherein centralized planning से आप थोड़ा सा loosen up कर लेते हो and you just give a direction in which you should move. Okay. So now with reference to planning, there are different kinds of organization जो कि involved होते हैं. जैसे कि we have planning commission which rolls out 5-year plans, and apart from that we have National Planning Council, National Development Council, and so this used to happen before 2015. We used to follow 5-year plans. उसमें Planning Commission, National Development Council, National Planning Council were involved. But now after 2015, those institutions have been replaced by Niti Aayog. So we are going to talk a little bit about all of these institutions and like who were involved and what were the tasks that they used to do. Okay. So if we talk about Planning Commission, this is a extra constitutional body. So what kind of a body a particular institution is, you should remember that, and you should read about it, because many a times this kind of questions are directly asked in prelims. आपसे directly ही पूछ लिया जाता है कि planning commission किस तरीके की body है. Is it a statutory body? Is it a constitutional body? Non-constitutional body? किस तरीके की body है? Okay. So it is a extra constitutional body which was set up by the resolution of Government of India in March 1950. Okay. So Planning Commission was set up in 1950s. It acts as a central government agency. Now you can say it acted as a central government agency because now it has been replaced. And this used to be a advisory committee. So ये आपको advise करेगी कि किस तरीके से plans होने चाहिए, क्या draft होगा, क्या क्या goals हम लोग follow करेंगे. And it is a non-statutory body. Okay. So how it used to work? So plans used to be developed. So जो भी draft plan बना है, क्या किया जाता था? This was presented for approval to National Development Council. What was National Development Council? We will talk about that. So these drafts were presented to National Development Council, and Who were the people who were involved in National Development Council? Members of Planning Commission, chief ministers of the states, and administrators of union territories and all union minister. So these were the people who are involved. So जो draft plan होता है, this was sent for approval to NDC. अब the council could make changes to this draft plan, and agar once the council has given approval for the plan, this was sent to the cabinet and subsequently it was sent to the parliament, and once all the approval has happened, it was sent as an operative document to the central government and the state government. So this became an operating document कि ये plan जो है वो we are going to follow for the coming years. So this was the process that used to be followed. Okay, so this was a bit about planning commission, and now we are going to talk about in a bit we are going to talk about what is National Development Council. So there is something called National Planning Council as well. This is an advisory body which is attached to the Planning Commission, and this was established in 1965, and it includes experts from various different kinds of field related to Indian economy. Different backgrounds, the people and experts from different backgrounds are included in this council. Okay, now coming to our main organization which approves the draft plan that we talked about in the previous slide. So National Development Council, NDC. So again, what kind of a body is NDC? NDC is a extra constitutional and non-statutory body. So this is similar to what kind of institution Planning Commission is. Planning Commission, if you see, Planning Commission is also an extra constitutional body, and it is also a non-statutory body. Okay, so keep this in mind. Okay, so this NDC was set up in 1952 by the Union Cabinet through an executive order. So this institution was mainly concerned about approvals of 5-year plan. Who are the members of NDC? So it's headed by the Prime Minister with Union Cabinet Minister, Chief Minister of States, and Lieutenant Governors, Governor Administrators of Union Territories, and the members of Planning Commission as well. Okay, so these are the members who are involved in NDC, and the Secretary of Planning Commission acts as the Secretary of Council. So whosoever is the Secretary of Planning Commission is also the Secretary of NDC. And again, the way Planning Commission is an advisory body, NDC is also a advisory body. Okay, so this was our bit about NDC, NPC and Planning Commission. So now we are going to talk about the organization which has replaced all of these organizations and brought new energy and new thinking to the economic planning process in India. So what is Niti Aayog? Niti, the abbreviation Niti means National Institution for Transforming India. So the government of India has replaced the Planning Commission with this new institute which is named Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. It was set up quite recently in 2015 to replace Planning Commission. So अब ये इंस्टीट्यूशन क्या काम करेगा? क्या ये 5-year plans ही बनाएगा या कोई एक नए तरीके का चेंज आने वाला है? So 12th 5-year plan was the last 5-year plan that we saw, and now there is a different approach to planning in India. Okay, so this what will be the purpose of this institution? This institution will serve as a think tank, a policy think tank. जो भी research का काम करना है related to what kind of policies should be implemented will be taken up by this institution. So it will be a directional and policy dynamo. So it will tell you which direction to move, what policies to implement in terms of research. So अब क्या करेगा नीति आयोग? It will provide central government and state governments as well with what? With स्ट्रेटेजिक एंड टेक्निकल एडवाइस. सो आपको स्ट्रेटेजिक और टेक्निकल एडवाइस बोथ एट द सेंट्रल लेवल एंड द स्टेट लेवल नीति आयोग विल प्रोवाइड यू अक्रॉस व्हाट डिमेंशंस, क्या क्या एरियाज में इट विल प्रोवाइड यू ऑन इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट, mainly on economic front. Along with that, what are the best practices that you know are reaping results within India or outside India. क्या क्या best practices है उसके बारे में भी information आपको नीति आयोग देगा, and new policy ideas that could be implemented. Along with that, if there is a specific issue that the central or the state government is facing, it will also serve as a research think tank, you know, to spend more time researching towards that topic and giving advice to the government at central and state level on that specific issue that they are facing. And नीति आयोग के members कौन कौन होंगे? So Prime Minister will be the chairman. There will be one vice chairman who will also be the CEO of the organization. There will be 5 full-time members, 2 part-time members, apart from 4 central government ministers. So Prime Minister will be the chairman, 1 vice chairman, 5 full-time members, 2 part-time members, and 4 central government ministers will be there. Okay, so this is a new addition to the economic planning in India. Okay, so now you know, before jumping on to the questions area, let's test if we have you know, studied whatever we are doing till now. So let's try to test ourselves. Let me read the question. I'll give you some time and you can give me the answer. So the government of India has established Niti Aayog to replace the, I'm sure अगर आपने पिछली स्लाइड अच्छे से देखी होगी, so it needs to be a you know, no brainer. So is it Human Rights Commission, Finance Commission, Law Commission, Planning Commission? So आज तो हमारा लेक्चर ही प्लानिंग कमीशन का है, तो प्लानिंग कमीशन should be the answer. So planning commission is the correct answer. So Niti Aayog is replacing planning commission. Okay, so I just wanted to see if you guys are awake or not. Okay, all right. So now some important points about the 5-year plans that Planning Commission, NDC, you know, they used to roll out. So Planning Commission, which was set up on 15th March 1950, it was set up on 15 March 1950, and the first 5-year plan was launched because 5-year plans for a period of 5 years. It was launched in 1951 and it lasted till 1956. 1956. So this was the first 5-year plan that India saw, because economic planning, you know, it was deemed necessary at that time for both economic growth and economic development. That was the rationale behind you know, rolling out these 5-year plans. So this particular idea of 5-year plan, it was taken from the Soviet Union, and Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the one who was you know, quite influenced by that philosophy, and he was the one who brought this idea. And so all this kind of planning was carried out using 5-year plans, and Planning Commission was given the task to execute these 5-year plans, to develop and to monitor these plans. So for a period of 1951 to 2014, Planning Commission did this work, and because 12th 5-year plan was still, you know, has not ended, like did not end at that point of time, for a period of 2 more years, Niti Aayog did that, you know, helped in implementing that 5-year plan. So Niti Aayog also helped in implementing the 5-year plans for the ending period of 12th 5-year plan. Okay, so what were the objectives of 5-year plan? Mainly the objective was economic growth and development, which was the sole objective of, you know, economic planning. तो क्या क्या होना चाहिए? High growth rate होना चाहिए ताकि लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को इम्प्रूव किया जा सके, economic stability ho, we should be self-reliant, we should not be dependent at the mercy of foreign countries to feed our population, for our production purposes. We should not be heavily dependent on the outside world. There should be social justice, and inequality within the society should be reduced so that there is peace in the economy and the country, and as well as modernization of the economy. So agriculture sector से आप industrial sector को, manufacturing sector को promote करो, and then also improve your service sector so that more employment opportunities for people. So उस sector से निकल के लोग अलग sectors में भी काम करना शुरू करें, उनके living standards को improve करें, economically develop हों. Okay, so these were the objectives for 5-year plans. So what you see here is a very nice and beautiful chart which shows what year was which 5-year plan. So the first 5-year plan that we saw, it was in 1951 to 56. So Harrod-Domar strategy was used for this first 5-year plan. Second 5-year plan was 1956 to 61. So Nehru-Mahalanobis strategy was used in this plan. So a reliance on heavy industry को improve करो, manufacturing sector को grow करो, ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा population को आप इस sector में engage कर सको. Okay. Then the third 5-year plan lasted from 1961 to 66. उसके बाद there were some political turmoils going on, जिसकी वजह से पूरे 5-year plan नहीं हो पाए. So rolling plan 3 साल के लिए they were implemented. So three annual plans were implemented. Then we had fourth 5-year plan for the period of 1969 to 74, then 5th, 6th, 7th, and the final one that we had was 12th 5-year plan. So till the period of 2015, Planning Commission was involved in implementing it, and post 2015 Niti Aayog came into picture. It helped in finishing up this 12th 5-year plan, and now there is a new way of economic planning in India. Okay, so annual plans हो, फिर 3-year plans हो, 10-year plans हो. So मान लो 10-year plan है, फिर उसके shorter plan 3-year plan, फिर उसका एक shorter plan 1-year plan. इस तरीके से now planning is going to go. Okay, so now with all that being said, enough talks about how everything used to happen, and now we are going to talk about a few questions that have come in the previous year question papers on this particular topic on economic planning. So let's see how much attention you guys have paid. Now let's go into the question part. So okay, so this question came into prelims 2014. The main objective of 12th 5-year plan is, so the last plan that we saw was the 12th 5-year plan. What was the objective of it? So there is a whole list of areas that each of the plan focused on. First plan, second plan, हर plan में कुछ main criteria थे जिनको focus किया गया था. जैसे second 5-year plan में heavy industrialization को focus किया गया था. ऐसे जो 12th 5-year plan है उसमें what was the main focus? So was it inclusive growth and poverty reduction, inclusive and sustainable growth, sustainable and inclusive growth to reduce unemployment, or was it faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth? So it's highly advisable कि आप सब plan के जो main criterias थे या main objectives थे, you go through them, you read through them, and then these questions will be a cakewalk for you. So the objective of 12th 5-year plan was, answer is D, the faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth. So you need to focus on what are the keywords that are being used. So जैसे इस पूरे question में हर जगह you can see inclusive. Okay, so it's very, UPSC is very smart. So they'll always give you the keywords that you might have heard. So it's important कि आप जो कीवर्ड है पूरा, जो की फ्रेज है फास्टर, सस्टेनेबल एंड मोर इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ, उसको ध्यान रखें, देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर दिस. सो द आंसर हियर इज डी. So अगर you are aware of what were the key phrases that were used, you'll be able to solve that question. All right, the second question, inclusive growth as enunciated in the 11th 5-year plan does not include which of the following. So the question is, inclusive growth जो होती है उसमें कौन सी चीज़ें नहीं आती हैं? Which of these four is not a part of inclusive growth? So the first option is reduction of poverty, extension of employment opportunities, strengthening of capital market and reduction of gender inequality. इसमें से कौन सी चीज़ जो है inclusive growth का part नहीं होगी? So whenever you talk about inclusive growth, meaning more and more people should benefit from economic growth. More and more people should be the part of economic growth that you are enjoying. तो inclusive growth के लिए you should have reduction in poverty, you should have increase in employment opportunities for people, you should reduce gender inequalities on different parameters. This option C, strengthening of capital market. So strengthening of capital market is something which does not come under inclusive growth, क्योंकि capital market it's important for the functioning and providing investments to the economy, but if you talk about the grassroots level, this will not form a part of inclusive growth. So strengthening of capital market is not it's not talked about whenever we talk about inclusive growth. Okay, so the answer here is C. Which of these is not a part of inclusive growth? So the answer is strengthening of capital market is not a part of inclusive growth. Okay, all right. Now the next question that we have came into prelims 2010. In the context of India's 5-year plans, a shift in the pattern of industrialization with lower emphasis on heavy industry and more infrastructure began in. So as we were talking about जो starting के 5-year plans थे, वहाँ पे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा emphasis था heavy industries की तरफ, ताकि industrialization को promote किया जा सके. So the question is, वो कौन सा 5-year plan था जहाँ पे heavy industry को कम emphasis दिया गया and ज़्यादा focus was on infrastructure development. So when did it start? So this is also a factual question. If you are aware कि कौन से plan में क्या क्या relevant points थे, you will be able to answer. So the answer for this one is 8th plan. So 8th plan के बाद 8th plan वो पहला plan था जहाँ पे we were talking about that lesser emphasis on heavy industry and more on infrastructure development. Okay, so it's a static question, it's a factual question. You need to know किस plan में किस बारे में बात हुई थी. Okay, and then you will be able to tackle this. The model of economic growth adopted in post-independent India for the first 5-year plan is, so we talked about it when we were talking about the different strategies of planning. So the first option is Bombay plan, Harrod-Domar plan, Mahalanobis model, or none of the above. So we talked about it. Harrod-Domar strategy was the one which was followed in the first 5-year plan. So the answer here is going to be B. Okay. Yes. So this is quite a static and factual topic, to be honest. The moment अगर आपको चीज़ें याद हैं, अगर आपको चीज़ें पता हैं, so you will be able to tackle this particular section. Okay. Okay. So now, which of the following were the pillars of the Nehru-Mahalanobis strategy of development? So इसमें से कौन सी strategy थी या कौन सा objective था which was primary for Nehru-Mahalanobis strategy, which was followed for the second 5-year plan? Okay. So high consumption rate to support consumer good industry. So this is the first statement. Second statement is policies that promote the competition of domestic firms with foreign firms. The third one is import substitution, and the fourth one is capitalistic pattern of society. So you have to choose which one is correct. So yes, they talked about import substitution. So they were promoting heavy industries. Why? ताकि हमारी बाहर के कंट्रीज से रिलायंस कम हो. So import substitution was one of the pillars of this strategy. And rest of the strategies that we have here, high consumption rate to support consumer goods industry, policies that promote competition of domestic firms with foreign firms. We were not talking about competition with foreign firms. We wanted a self-reliant economy. So we were not looking for that, and we were neither looking at the capitalistic pattern of society. We were more concerned about bringing people out of poverty, giving them better opportunities, and making things inside India. So the main idea was import substitution. That is why this heavy industry, the objective of creating heavy industry was promoted in the Nehru-Mahalanobis strategy. So the answer here is going to be import substitution was the pillar for the strategy. So only 3. So the answer here is B. Okay. Okay, now, so you are given 2 statements. One of them is assertion and the second one is reason. So assertion, reason mein what do you have to do? First is the statement and second is also the statement, and then you have to see if the second statement is a correct reasoning for the first statement. Okay, so let's read the statements first. In India, only the central government can make development plans. So development plans सिर्फ central government बना सकती है. And what is the reasoning for this? Economic and social planning falls under the union list in the 7th schedule of the constitution. तो पहले बोला सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ही सारी प्लानिंग कर सकती है, इकोनॉमिक प्लानिंग, और उसका रीज़न क्या दिया है? बिकॉज ये जो इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल प्लानिंग का जो सब्जेक्ट है ये यूनियन लिस्ट में आता है. ओके, सो अगर सिर्फ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जो है वो ही प्लान कर पाती, अगर ये इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल प्लानिंग जो सब्जेक्ट है यूनियन लिस्ट में होता तो शायद हमारी स्टेटमेंट्स ट्रू हो सकती थी, क्योंकि यूनियन लिस्ट में जो सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं दे आर टैकल्ड बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड हेंस दीज वुड हैव बीन ट्रू. बट this economic and social planning, this falls under the concurrent list. So concurrent list क्या होती है? The list of subjects which are of relevance to both the state government and the central government. Hence this is not true and this is also not true. So assertion is wrong and reasoning is also wrong. So both are wrong, both are incorrect. And what is the explanation? Both central and state government can make development plan because this economic and social planning comes under the concurrent list. Okay, all right. So now finally this is going to be the last question for today's lecture. Which of the following schemes/initiatives were not launched by Niti Aayog? So if you guys are following the current affairs, if you're reading the economic news, you would know Young Champions Award is a policy which is initiated by Niti Aayog. Atal Innovation Mission is also launched. Digital Payment Movement is also launched by Niti Aayog. This final online portal Ensure, this is related to animal husbandry. And this is one policy that is not launched by Niti Aayog. Okay, so the answer is going to be D. This particular policy is not initiated by Niti Aayog. All right. So I hope you were able to understand the subject or the topic of economic planning in India. We went a little bit into the history of economic planning, types of planning, and we also did question. I hope you are feeling good about the topic now, and I will see you in the next lecture, which is going to be on inflation. Till then, keep practicing and take care. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next lecture.